Donald Trump wants an investigation, ladies and gentlemen, into some of those sketchy payments that went to Oprah or perhaps Beyonce during the Kamala Harris campaign. Oh my gosh, Hollywood is freaking out over this one. Remember when we found out that Oprah was making according to the New York Times, $2.5 million for her production company off of that little stint that they did on YouTube that gets less viewers than we're getting right now? It was like a total bomb. Anyway, she was making the big bucks out of it. Donald Trump decided to take issue with this, and he put out on Truth Social today, how much did Kamala Harris pay Bruce Springsteen? Well, he doesn't like Bruce right now, nor Taylor Swift for that matter. She's no longer hot, remember? During her campaign for president, why did he accept that money if he is such a fan of hers? Isn't that a major and illegal campaign contribution? What about Beyonce? And how much went to Oprah and to Bono? I am going to call for a major investigation into this matter. Candidates aren't allowed to pay for endorsements, which is what Kamala did under the guise of paying for entertainment. In addition, this was a very expensive and desperate effort to artificially build up her sparse crowds. It's not legal. For these unpatriotic, quote, entertainers, this was just a corrupt and unlawful way to capitalize on a broken system. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He goes on. He was not done. Let's read the rest of his Truth Social he put out. According to new reports, Beyonce was paid $11 million to walk onto a stage. Wow. So that's incredible if that's true. $11 million that Kamala Harris paid to Beyonce. I had heard like $165,000, but allegedly now he's saying $11 million, which would be like kind of insane, quickly to endorse Kamala Harris and walk off to loud booing for never having performed, not even one song. Remember, the Democrats and Kamala illegally paid her millions of dollars for doing nothing other than giving Kamala a full-throated endorsement. This is an illegal election scam at the highest level. It is an illegal campaign contribution. Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, Bono, and perhaps many others have a lot of explaining to do. Do you remember that? Now, again, this 11 million number, that's huge. I had not heard that before. I heard $165,000, which was kind of a lot, for a makeup artist and an outfit. Like, really? To go to Houston, Texas? But anyway, he's alleging she got $11 million, and he's got a lot of questions as to whether or not that violated FEC rules and whether there was any kind of funky accounting going on in the background. Remember, she went out there, and this happened.
We are so happy to be standing here on this stage as proud country Texas women supporting and celebrating the one and only Vice President Kamala Harris. A woman who's been pushing for what this country really needs right now: unity. It's impossible not to feel the energy in this room, the positivity, the community, the humanity. We are at the precipice of an incredible shift, the brink of history. I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother.
That's all the booing. I just have to say one thing. I'm not here as a celebrity. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as a mother trying to earn my paycheck, ladies and gentlemen, if the $11 million is true. Wow, that would be just an obscene amount of money. And again, as Donald Trump pointed out, she didn't sing one song. You know what? The crowds were pretty upset. Remember the booing? This is what I wanted to show you. Oh, yes, it was not a pretty scene. Meanwhile, Oprah Winfrey did this big thing where she invited everybody on. She had like Julia Roberts there and a few other names that, aren't such big names anymore. Oh, Meryl Streep was one of them. And they all got together for this YouTube event that kind of went nowhere and nobody actually watched. But apparently Harpo Productions, which is the production company for Oprah Winfrey, got paid for it, even though she said, no, she didn't make a dime. She didn't make a dime. Here is a rogue reporter approaching one Oprah Winfrey as she gets into her Range Rover, asking about how much she was paid.
Hey Oprah, good morning. How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went? Not talking about the election. Thank you very much.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
Except the New York Times says she was paid $2.5 million. Yeah. They did this big expose on how Kamala Harris spent an obscene amount of money, $1.5 billion in 15 weeks, and a lot of it was on these entertainers somehow. Like $2.5 million going to the Oprah Winfrey production company? Wow. Here you read, one particular Harris payment has drawn attention in the aftermath of the election. This is according to FEC filings. They found $1 million that was paid to Oprah Winfrey's production firm, Harper Productions. In an Instagram post, Ms. Winfrey said, nope, that was just all for live streamed town hall production stuff. That was the set, the lights, the cameras, the microphones, the crew, producers, even the chairs. I'm sorry, but you know what? If I have Kamala Harris coming on my show, not that I would, but if I did, am I charging her campaign for the set and the mics and no, because she's running for the presidency of the United States. Like, that's kind of a no-no. If I have President Trump on my show, am I charging him or his campaign? No, that's like not actually what you do. This blew me away that she was making money off the campaign for her production company, but it's worse because even the New York Times is calling this one out. They're saying it wasn't just $1 million. Let me go to the paragraph in question. They're saying they spoke with sources, and they say it ran closer to $2.5 million. Wow. So you wonder why Donald Trump is saying we need an investigation into this. I mean, if you're paying all these crazy amounts of money, and I don't know what the figure was on Beyonce, she's saying 165. He's saying 11 mil. My gosh. Somebody ought to look into this for sure, because there's some funny business going on. You wonder why Hollywood loved Kamala so much. They didn't love Kamala. They loved the paycheck she was bringing with them, right? That's what was going on.